Do you ever look at your back? You know, there's parts of your back that you can't see when you look in the mirror, just generally. And you can't feel them either with your fingertips. 2 weekends before I was going in for surgery, I was up on the land and I thought I might have something on my back, like a tick bite or something. But I couldn't feel anything because I couldn't reach it and I couldn't see anything. So I got a piece of broken mirror and held it up and stood in front of the whole mirror from which this chunk had broken at one point. And I saw something on my back that was about as big as the tip of my baby finger, and it was black. So without getting too coming home like, oh my God, I was on the land, oh my God, I've got to go home immediately and see what this is. I actually did wait till I had been going to come home anyway, and came home and made an appointment with dermatology for that Monday morning. When I went in, it turns out it was very hard. So the dermatologist just sliced off the top and sent it into the lab for examination. He said it was a carcinoma. That's like comes with keratoses. I've had a long history of non-cancer keratoses, which I have removed because my fair skin and, you know, whatever, the sun. So that was that. The day of surgery, it was either the day of surgery, right before or right after. I mean, I was still, somehow or other, I was in a cloud. I was definitely in a cloud. And the word came through that I was to go to back to dermatology as soon as possible. They had sent the piece to the lab, and it was not a carcinoma, it was a melanoma. My reaction at that moment was what has been my reaction every moment since then. Okay. I mean, what are you going to do? I'm not going to struggle this. If it has spread, and you know, melanoma, it's like the most spreadable of all the skin cancer, and rather uncontrollable, and heads for the lymph glands, lymph nodes. But there was no doubt in my mind at all that I was not going to go there. So if this is it, this is it. And if I have, I mean, I've been so lucky in my life. I've had such a rich life. You're going to have to go sometime. And I would rather go gentle into that good night than the treatment that is necessary if you have this. We started talking with surgeons. Now it is moved up. It's no longer in dermatology. It's moved up to surgery. And of course the thought of surgery at this point. But fortunately it's not going to involve any general anesthesia. We got an appointment, and that's why yesterday, when I was coming home, why yesterday was such a unexpectedly busy, not your ordinary trip home from the hospital, because I left the facility, and then on the way home, we went to see the surgeon who will be doing the procedure, who had not yet seen my back. All that had happened to my back this far is that the melanoma had just been sliced off the top. It's still there, though. So we stopped there and met with the surgeon. And all is not horrible with Kaiser. There are some good people. And I feel really very good about this doctor. And her recommendations and everything are exactly with me and how I feel about all of this. So the plan is to, well, the problem is, well, it's not a problem, but the situation is that I'm on this blood thinner. Because of this knee surgery, I'm on warfarin, and that means they can't do the melanoma procedure as long as I'm on the warfarin. So it's kind of a balancing act. The point is, the question being, the danger of doing it while I'm on the warfarin is far, far greater than the effect of if I wait another couple of weeks to do it when I'm off the warfarin. So that's the way it's going to go down. I've just enclosed a couple of moments of this consultation here.
You know, basically what our goal is to remove the entire thing. So the goal would be to get it with what we call clean, wide margins. And then the next question becomes how we address whether or not it's spread to other places.
Whether it has already?
Correct, exactly. And I've actually made a couple of phone calls already to the oncologist or the cancer specialist to determine whether or not figuring that out would have an impact on your treatment. For example, if that melanoma had spread to your lymph nodes, there are treatment options that involve heavy-duty chemotherapy called interferon. And interferon is actually not a treatment for everybody. And given your age, that the oncologist would not recommend interferon therapy.
I'm not interested.
Okay.
I'd rather just sign out.
Exactly. And so our conversation essentially was that even if we had that information about the sentinel lymph node biopsy, it really wouldn't impact the therapy.
Right.
And so why put you under additional surgical sort of risks where it doesn't impact the therapy? I think it's important to treat the melanoma so that that doesn't become a problem. But I don't think that doing the additional procedures where we're biopsying the lymph nodes would add anything. The thinking is that the danger of you having a blood clot from the procedure is much, much higher than that waiting that few extra weeks of taking out the melanoma.
Yeah. Wanted to clarify, that means that any kind of treatment, if in case there was any spreading, is pretty much out.
Exactly, and the reason behind that is because the treatment would be something like interferon, which is
very high risk.
Toxic. It's very toxic, and even younger. I mean, you're actually pretty darn healthy, but even younger, healthier people, there's not a whole lot of people who are candidates for that type of therapy because it's such a toxic therapy that you really have to. It's sort of the last, if you will, the last thing we take out of our pockets that we treat folks with melanoma. Well, the reason we would even do the dye and doing the lymph node, what's called the sentinel lymph node biopsy, is to determine if there was spread. If there was no spread, then we could say, okay, we don't need to do anything for sure. But if there was spread, then the question becomes, what are we going to do with that information?
So it's a matter of finding out whether they're spread or not.
Right.
Well, personally, I would rather not find out. Because if I find out that there is, then that's going to affect the way I am being. I don't think I would lose anything if I didn't find out.
Right, and I think that, again, it gets back to the question of, are we going to do anything with that information?
Yes, right. Okay, Rita?
Yeah, that was going to be my question, which was, first to see if you were curious to see, where, if it had spread anywhere, just so that you would know, and then, how that would be done.
I don't want to know.
Right.
I think that's a very, very reasonable thing to do. And
it seems sane, and this is, and it's actually more natural.
Yeah.
So
I think that, and as it, I think I wanted to have that conversation with the oncologist beforehand so that we could have this conversation to say, if there was an easy treatment, I think it would be an easy answer to say, well, yeah, let's do the sentinel lymph node, and we could give you an easy treatment. But unfortunately, with melanoma, the chemotherapeutic treatments are so toxic, and that's would be something that we.
I don't even want to know that I need it. To me, this is all positive, so don't worry. I feel like I've got a green light to go ahead and enjoy once I get over this knee.